Hey guys, it's GDKP bringing you a hero gear guide in Kingshot so you can take your heroes from looking like the left one to the right one, going over what you need to do, what you shouldn't do, the materials needed, and why we're doing what we're doing. Alright, so we'll be looking at multiple different gear sets. To get us started, here's my Helga. She is wearing the base set of mythic gear pieces for an infantry hero. Now each piece of gear focuses on something different in Expedition and Conquest. So we're looking at the helmet now. The Conquest stats focuses on hero attack, hero health, escort attack, and escort health. And then in Expedition, it focuses on infantry lethality. The same can go for your boots. It focuses on the same stats. However, when we look at the gloves, it focuses on something different. For the gloves, Conquest focuses on hero defense, hero health, escort defense, escort health. And then in Expedition, it focuses on infantry health. The same can be said for your chest piece. The second set of gear that we're looking at belongs to Saul. Here you see that two pieces are leveled to plus 100 because of the number in the top right corner, and then two pieces are not leveled at all. And there's a specific reason for this. When you're leveling your gear, you want to focus on certain expedition stats because expeditions are anything done out on the world map. So you got your wild beast, you got your terror rallies, you got your bear rallies, you got attacking other people's cities, and defending throne or attacking throne and outposts. For your archer and your cavalry heroes, you want to focus on the helmet and the boots the most because they target archer lethality in Expedition. And with your archer and your cavalry units being your primary damage dealer, that stat is significantly more important than your chest piece and your gloves, which provide health. Now going over the stats, the conquest stats for a piece that's at plus 100, your hero attack is now 546, your hero health is now 1687, your escort attack is at 182, and your escort health is 562, and then your expedition stats went from 15% at level 0 to plus 50% at 100. The next set of gear that we're looking at belongs to Zoe. Here you see I have her gloves and her chest leveled to 100 and her helmet and her boots leveled to plus 60. The complete opposite of what I would do for Saul. Now, making reference to a couple minutes ago, focusing on expedition stats, for your infantry heroes, you want to focus on the gear pieces that provide health over lethality, because your infantry heroes and units are your tanks when you're fighting. They are not your damage dealers, so you want them to absorb as much damage as possible, and focusing on the gloves and the chest piece provide infantry health when fighting out in expeditions. Now, for conquest stats, the hero defense is also increased to 450. Hero health is increased to 3,375. Escort defense is 150, and escort health is 1,125. Now referencing back to a gear piece that is at level 0, hero defense is 150, hero health is 1,125, escort defense is 50, escort health is 375, and then for expedition stats, it's 15%. So what happens when your gear finally gets to level 100? Well, you'll notice that the Enhance button changes to Ascend. When you click that button, a whole new chart pulls up. Your gear changes from orange or gold to red. Your levels go from plus 100 to plus 1. What this means is you're leveling past level 100. So in reference, it is level 101 all the way up to level 200. Your stats will continue to get increased. However, every 20 levels, you'll get a bonus, and they rotate every 20 levels. So at level 20, you get an expedition bonus to infantry defense of plus 20%. The next 20 levels, at plus 40, you get a conquest bonus for hero health at 7.5%. At 60, you get an expedition bonus to infantry health at 30%. At 80, it is another conquest bonus. And then at level 200 or plus 100, you get an expedition bonus to infantry defense at 50%. Now this is the glove piece. The chest piece provides something different. At level 20, you get infantry attack. At level 40, you get hero health. At level 60, you get infantry defense. At level 80, you get hero attack. And then at level 100 or 200, you get a bonus to infantry attack. So now that you're ready to progress your gear beyond level 100, what else is required? Well, on this piece of gear, you see in red letters it says reach mastery level 10 to unlock Ascension. And what exactly does that mean? Well, let's go back to the original gear menu and look at the button that we've ignored so far, which is the Mastery Forging button. So Mastery Forging is a feature that is unlocked at Town Center level 20. before you can use it, your gear has to be enhanced to level 20. Now, unlike regular gear upgrades, it's exclusive to mythic hero gear only and can't be used on any other gear. And instead of requiring XP enhancements or merging other pieces of gear, it introduces a whole new material called Forgehammers. Well, now how do you obtain Forgehammers? They can be obtained through a variety of means, one of which is through the mystery shop. The mystery shop allows you to get rare materials at a potential discount. I believe the top 3 items will never change. However, as you see here, I can get 10 Forgehammers for 2,500 mystery badges. Mystery badges are the currency used in the shop, which can be obtained through buying packs or through daily missions. Now, the shop can be refreshed once per day for free. However, every extra refresh requires gems. So if you refresh it more than that free refresh, it goes 100 gems, 200 gems, 300 gems, and progressively gets more expensive. However, each refresh has a chance of stocking extremely discounted or even free rare materials. Here you see my next refresh is 800 gems, but with this, I can get 5 Forgehammers at a 20% discount for 1,000 mystery badges, or I can get one at a 50% discount for 125 badges. Another way to acquire them is through the arena shop. Here you can see that you have a quantity of 5 able to be purchased for 2,500 arena tokens a piece. However, you have to take into consideration that also in the arena shop are the custom mythic hero gear chest, which grants you a mythic hero gear of your choice. So when it comes to this shop, be wise on how you spend your arena tokens. Now, the most expensive way to get Forgehammers is through the VIP shop. And I only say that because in order to purchase them, you have to be VIP level 11 in order for them to be unlocked. However, you can get 10 of them every week for 1,500 gems apiece, or for a total of 15,000 gems. The last place that you can purchase them from is through the Swordland shop. The Swordland shop uses relic coins, which are acquired through the Swordland Showdown event, in order to purchase the items available here. Now, every 2 weeks, you can purchase 10 Forgehammers for 1,250 relic coins apiece, or 12,500 relic coins for all 10. Now, the easiest and most free-to-play friendly way is through the Bear Hunt event every other day. Forgehammers are rewarded for total alliance damage reaching over 1 million, so you get one for free. However, your personal damage has to reach 325,000 or more in order before you get them as a reward. The first 2 tiers for damage gives you 2, and then every tier afterwards increases by 1. So after 1.7 million damage done, you get 3. The next tier you get 4. The next one 5, and it progressively increases. Now that we've acquired enough Forgehammers and mythic gear pieces to ascend our gear, and we've leveled it a little bit, you'll realize that once you hit level 119, something new unlocks. The Enhance button changes to Imbue. What does that mean? Well, when we click on it, you'll realize that the bonuses I spoke about earlier in the video finally are able to be unlocked. Once you hit level 120, you get the Expedition bonus to Archer Defense, and like I said earlier, they rotate every 20 levels between Conquest and Expedition. However, when you're able to imbue your pieces, a new material is introduced called mythril. It's a rare silvery metal that infuses hero gear with extraordinary powers. This material can only be obtained through the arena shop at 10,000 arena tokens a piece, and you can only get 3 of them a week, or you can purchase them through regular packs. Plus, every time you imbue it, it requires more mythic gear. Now that we discussed what material is needed to progress your gear, let's talk about the actual numbers. So in order to take a piece of gear from level 0 to level 100, you're going to need 73,320 gear experience. Now this is either through Enhancement XP parts or through other pieces of gear. In order to get a full 3 sets for your main 3 heroes, it's 879,840 gear experience. Now that we've ascended our main 3 heroes' gear, how do we properly level it? Well, here on my Hilda, you see that her helmet and her boots are plus 59, her chest piece is plus 39, and her gloves are plus 19. Now the reason why I did it this way, and I did the same for Marlin, is because the helmet and the boots provide lethality. If you remember earlier in the video, I said archers and cavalry units and heroes are your damage dealers, so you want to focus on lethality. However, I have messed up, and I've been stuck at plus 59. What you should do is only level it if you can get to plus 60. You don't want to stop on the conquest bonuses because they really provide nothing whenever you're out in expedition. You want to try to get to the next expedition tier. And what I mean by that, and this is all optional, is leveling it from 101 to 139 and stopping, and then leveling it from 139 to 179 and stopping, and then leveling it from 179 to 200, and then you're done. And what this does is skipping each conquest tier, because essentially it's not worth it. Now, as you see, my Amadeus has his gear leveled properly compared to my Marlin and my Hilda, and that's because I stopped on the expedition tiers. So his chest piece and his gloves are at plus 79, and his helmet and his boots are at plus 39. I'm not going to continue leveling his gear until I can take his gloves and his chest piece to plus 100, and then after that my priority will be his helmet to plus 60, so I get the bonus to infantry defense. And then afterwards I'm going to prioritize getting my boots to level 100 for the infantry defense bonus, and then I'm going to go back and level up his helmet to plus 100. Even though I messed up on Marlin and Hilda's gear, keeping their priority pieces at plus 59 instead of continuing them to plus 60 for the expedition bonus, I leveled their chest pieces and their gloves properly, simply because the chest pieces provide an archer attack bonus when you imbue them to 20, and the gloves are a defense bonus. Now, I'm going to prioritize them the same way that I'm going to prioritize Amadeus, and that's taking their priority pieces, so the helmet and the boots, to plus 100, and then I'm going to go to the gloves and progress them to plus 60 or plus 79 for the archer attack bonus. And then I'm going to prioritize getting the chest piece to plus 100, simply for the archer attack bonus. And the same can be respectively said about Hilda, progressing her helmet and her boots to plus 100, prioritizing the gloves to plus 60 or 79, and then prioritizing her chest piece to plus 100. And then once that's said and done, I'm going to go back and level up the gloves to plus 100. And that way I'm going to have all three max hero sets. So before I touch on the gear requirements needed to go from 100 to 200, here's a chart that my buddy Haroon gave me that he believes you should focus your gear on. Now, this is primarily because he thinks that the mythril and gear cost might be better used on a more useful imbuement instead of taking one of your primary pieces straight to level 100. As you see here in round 1, the infantry gloves, archer helmet, and cav helmet all go to plus 39. The infantry chest, archer boots, and cav boots are going to be plus 19 unless they're at plus 20, then you want to take them to plus 39. Then the infantry boots and helmet, archer chest and gloves, cav chest and gloves are all plus 20. Then you want to go to round 2 and you take your infantry chest to 79, your infantry gloves to 100, your archer boots to 79, your archer helmet to 100, your cav boots to 79, and your cav helmet to 100. Then round 3, you want to take your infantry chest, archer boots, and your cav boots to plus 99. Then you want to go to round 4 and take your infantry helmet to plus 60, archer gloves and cav gloves to plus 60. Round 5, you want to take your infantry boots, archer chest, cav chest to plus 100. And then you finally want to finish it off on round 6 with infantry chest being plus 100, and then your archer boots and your cav boots being plus 100. However, he does state that once round 1 is completed, you should focus entirely on infantry gear and focus in getting to round 4 on that before you consider pivoting to archer and cav gear. Before I continue with the gear requirements, I almost forgot an essential piece to leveling up your gear, and that is the option to reforge it. Now what this does is if you have a piece of gear that has experience into it, you can go and reforge it and get every piece of experience back for free once a day. As you see with this piece, I've already reforged it once, and the free reforge will be available in 24 hours. Or you can spend gems in order to reforge it. Now, in order to reforge it, the piece of gear has to be unequipped. And you can do this with both experience and forge hammers. However, the difference here is forge hammers will only return 50% of the forge hammers spent. So you never want to put forge hammers into a piece of gear that you don't plan on putting on your 3 main heroes. Now for the certain gear requirements from 100 to 200, I'll go ahead and post a picture of it up on the screen, and you guys will be able to pause the video and read it for yourself if you're interested. Now, for levels 101 straight to 200, this is what you're going to need. For one piece of gear, you're going to need 502,000 experience, 150 mythril, 48 mythic pieces, and 650 forge hammers. Now for 3 sets of gear, you're going to need 6,024,000 experience, 1,800 mythril, 576 mythic pieces, and 7,800 forge hammers. What this is going to do is get you from level 101 to 200, and then your mastery forging level from 10 to 15. Now, if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask them down below, or you can reach out to me in-game or in the Kingshot Discord, which will be down in the description below. I'll also go ahead and post a hero gear upgrade calculator, a spreadsheet, and a guide that my friend Daryl wrote, The Smart Way to Upgrade Hero Gear in Kingshot. Thank you guys for watching.